So Mother's Day is this weekend, and whenever there is a special occasion, we make a dress. Now, I'm doing better than last time where I was literally 2 days out from Easter and I attempted to make an Easter dress and I didn't finish that on time. And if you haven't seen that, I will link it for you above. It is Tuesday and Mother's Day is Sunday. So I'm giving myself what I believe to be an adequate amount of time to make a dress. However, there's a caveat. I want to make 2 dresses. One, because it's really hot, and the first dress is going to be for service, and so I feel like it's just going to be a warmer dress by nature, and I don't want to wear that all day. So the second dress will be post-service, like brunch, lunch situation. Now, I know what dress I want to make for the second dress, but I don't know what dress I want to make for the first dress. I plan to make the first dress first, so I need to figure that out. So originally I thought I would go with this dress. This is Simplicity 9536, and it's super cute, particularly this situation here. Love the top, love the Bolero, love the pockets. Also cute, adorable. The thing that's keeping me from making this is, as cute as it is, I'm trying to be more intentional about my wardrobe. As much as I like this dress and I love the idea of it, this is something really experimental for me. Like, I don't know how much wear I would actually get out of something like this. So that kind of puts me off from sewing it.
Here I'm just tracing off my bodice block so that I can go ahead and start drafting my own pattern. Once I get it traced off, I'm gonna add to it the style lines and the cut lines that I need to add in to get the design that I'm going for. So at this point, the style lines have been added and I'm slashing and spread to create some fullness that I want to have for the top portion of the bodice that I am attempting to create.
The hair, but it is the next day. After having a think and talking to my sister, I really decided that that pattern was like, I'm settling on it, but it's not something that I was very excited about, especially not for the coming season. So she was like, why don't you go on Pinterest and find something that inspires you and just make that? And I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do that. So I went on Pinterest and I found this inspiration picture, and I'll put it here for you. And this is basically what I'm going off of. I've already like started drafting the pattern and I'm tweaking it as I'm going right now, and so I will show you what I have so far and then like what changes I'm gonna make, and then I'll sew up another mock-up. So okay, so this is the top that I have so far. It's going to be a dress. It has this curved seam here with like a fully gathered like upper portion, and then the bottom on the inspiration picture is just one panel, but I don't really think that would suit me. I like to have the seams for like more opportunity for shaping. So my bottom is very much the 2 panels, and then the back is just like a regular straight back. Now, the back has this gap here because originally I was going to close it with ties, but I'm not going to do that anymore. I think I'm going to put a zipper in, so that's going to change. The front is okay, however, all of this needs to be pinched out. I need to pinch that out, and I'm going to pinch it out into a dart, so keeping all of the fullness down here, just taking up some of the fullness on the top, and that's going to...
So the first edit that I'm making to the pattern is taking some width off of that center front panel that I just talked about. And then next I will go ahead and I will redraft the back bodice piece so that I have those 2 panels without that gap in the middle, because I'm going to go ahead and add a zipper now.
Okay, so the second mock-up is done. So I went ahead and I added the length. I still feel like it can drop a smidge, but what I'm thinking is that you see my shoulder is a bit too far forward. So I'm gonna push the shoulder or add about 1/4 of an inch to the shoulder seam, and hopefully that will give it the room that it needs to elongate itself a little bit more. I added ease so that it fits nicely, but I decided to keep it like pretty fitted, and then it's also coming to a bit of a peak here, like a V, and I want it to be like a nice round neck. So just finish that, and once I finish all of the alterations to the top pattern piece, then I'll go ahead and I'll draft the facings, and then after that I think sleeves. Oh yeah, and then I need to figure out skirt. I'm pretty much done with that. I'm gonna do a short puff sleeve. I have some laying around from like other patterns that I've drafted, so I'm just gonna pull that. I'm gonna do a semicircle skirt, probably short, paneled, so that I have some cute little slits in the front. So the next thing was the fabric, which I'm holding right now. I don't know why I forgot that. So I was between these two fabrics. So the first one that I have is like a cotton, it's kind of like a cotton sateen. I got it from Mood a couple trips back when I was in South Florida. It has a little bit of stretch to it. I think I'm holding it on double label so you can see right here. It has a little bit of stretch to it. I really like the floral print and everything. And then the next one that I was thinking of was this one, which I got from like a D-stash market maybe like 2 years ago at this point. And funny enough, lately I have been feeling like I wanted to try larger scale florals, and I kind of forgot this was in my stash. Originally I was leaning towards this one just because I think the structure and the fabric already would be really nice for the bodice. However, I think I'm gonna go with this one just because I like the way it hangs. I like the large scale print. I also feel like it's Mother's Day. It's like a celebratory type day, so I want something a little bit more light and fun. So I'm gonna go with this one. Okay, so I finally have all of the pattern pieces cut out for both patterns. Literally took all morning, but now I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna start working on this dress first because this is the one that I am most excited about.
The first thing to do was to put together the pieces that go along the center front at the bottom of the bodice panel. So this is me just putting those pieces together and then stitching them to each other. Once those pieces were stitched together, I needed to add 2 gathering stitches along the bottom of the front bodice panel to create all of that gathering that goes across the bust area. Next, I went ahead and pinned down and then stitched the darts for the 2 back panels. Here I'm just gathering down that bust panel to get it to fit the width of the center front bottom panels. Once that's been gathered down, I clipped it to that center front bottom panel, and then this is me just stitching those panels together. And now I can go ahead and attach the front bodice panel to the 2 back bodice panels.
Okay, so I've joined all the pieces of the skirt together, and I don't know if I did this right, but we'll figure it out together. So basically I just had like a 1/4 circle skirt drafted, and then I cut out 4 of those, so like double the waist for a little bit of gathering. I was hoping it would be more, but it's actually not that much. And now they're all joined together. I was gonna add pockets, but I don't feel like figuring that out with placement and everything. So what I'm gonna do now is add the gathering stitches across the top so that I can gather it down and then attach it to the bodice, because I wanna go ahead and add the zipper so that I can add the facing and finish the bodice off. Let me show you where we're at with the bodice. So this is where we are at with the bodice, pretty much almost done. I went ahead and I did top stitching along here and along here. I everything's been gathered. The insides are all finished. I got to clean up some threads and everything. And I still need to take out the gathering stitches, but that's squared away. I don't want to try it on because this fabric is really like thin and I don't want to stretch out the neckline before I add the facing, which is why I need to go ahead and get the skirt gathered down so that I can attach it to the bodice so that I can add the facing. So let's do that now. So it is pretty overcast today and just not ideal for recording, but I'm gonna keep on recording because I want to get this done. So here is where I am at with the dress. So we have the entire dress pretty much constructed. I ended up not adding the pockets just so that I could work out the skirt. In retrospect, I see how I could have added the pockets, but it's like one of those things where it's just best to do it first and then I can go back on the next version. But I think it's going to be okay. The next thing to do is attach the invisible zipper in the back. So I'm gonna get ready to attach the invisible zipper and then what do I do? Attach the invisible zipper and then attach the facing and then the sleeves. So let's see, it is 4:41. Oof, so I won't be in here much longer. I'm probably gonna be in here until like 5 o'clock and then I have to go make dinner and then do like all of the end of the day activities and then I'll come back in this evening. And so I'm gonna try and get the zipper attached before I go and start dinner. That would be pretty nice. That way I can get like a good idea of what it's fitting like. And then when I get back in here, all I have to do is the facing and the sleeves and then I'm gonna hang it up on the dress form for until probably like Saturday night to let it drop because it is like a semicircle skirt on the bottom. Happy Friday. So it's the next day and I am back to working on the dress. And so today I came in here to figure out the sleeves and finish it. However, I don't love the sleeve. I think I'm leaning towards sleeveless because I feel like with the sleeves it's just coming out a little too sweet. So I'm going to draft a sleeve facing. I'm not going to finish it with binding because I feel like a facing would just look cleaner. I'm looking at my patterns because as I've mentioned, this is supposed to be a dress that I also wear to church on Sunday. So I could wear a sleeveless dress, but it gets a little bit cold. So I think I want to make a little bolero. I don't know if I'll have enough fabric for it, but I can pull from the pattern that I was originally thinking of sewing for the bolero. So if I have enough, this little bolero would be pretty cute. And it only takes 1 1/3 of a yard or 1 1/4 with 60 wide fabric. I don't have any fabric left, but I have offcuts. All of these offcuts from when I cut the skirt. So like maybe I could squeeze it out of this, but whatever the case may be, I'm going to leave the dress sleeveless. I'm going to draft sleeve facings to put onto the arm sides, not going to go with the sleeve, and then we can go ahead and finish off the skirt and pretty much be done with it. Okay, kids are in and out of here, so it's really hard to record, but I have the sleeve facing kind of attached. I've had to ease it in because as I thought, I did stretch out the armhole when I was trying it on and off. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to sew these, press or understitch and then flip it in, and then hopefully it will look okay. Okay, so this is where we are at. It's pinned because my dress form is a little bit too small, and I'm not gonna lie, I really think that like without it having sleeves, it feels like it's missing something. I will show it on you. I will show it on me in the final shots, but I feel like it's missing something. Whatever the case may be, it's completely finished with the exception of the hem, which I'm just gonna let hang for a little bit longer just to make sure it doesn't want to drop. Actually relatively pretty quickly, which is nice. I was thinking about doing like a nice binding on the facing, but I don't even know if I'm gonna like this, so I don't want to invest more time in it than it's worth. But this is all attached, so the last thing to, or the next thing to do is to sew it, understitch it, flip it over, press it, and then it says to, where are we at here? Right sides together, clip, slip stitch in place. But I feel like that would be visible, like those little pinpricks. I'm not really good at hand stitching, so I haven't quite figured that one out yet. Yeah, haven't quite figured that one out yet, so I don't know, we'll see. But I'm gonna go ahead and do this part, understitch it, press it under, and all that good stuff, and then we'll come back to do the cuffs. So this is where we are at. I don't know how I feel about it. I didn't think this through too well. I have another Bolero that I probably should have gone with because I don't love high neck stuff on me, but this is it so far. And the last thing to do is put the cuff on the sleeve and then button and buttonhole, which I think goes something like that, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the cuffs, and then I'll figure out the button placement, and then we'll be done.
Come a little closer, I wanna dance with you. Everything's moving slower, I don't know what it is you do. I've been looking at you all night, trying to figure you out. I just wanna make you smile. Hold your hand in my hand, looking at the sunset. Man, you're looking good tonight. I wanna kiss you before the sun goes down. It's what you do.